All right, so we might as well start the show. We're a little bit late, so we might as well roll into it. So, welcome everyone joining us. I see you guys in chat. Thanks for taking the time out of what could have been a very productive Saturday afternoon to come watch us. Yeah, see, we got a couple guys who said they're here just because John tweeted, so that's good. Just for everyone who doesn't know who John is, he's the one closest to my face, so he's right there.
I meet you right here, Justin.
Yeah. I'm just on your shoulder there. So, welcome everybody. Hopefully you enjoy your stay here. So, moving on, we're going to do quick intros with everybody, if you guys don't mind. So I'll just start. I'm Sergeant Rock. My name's Justin. You'll notice in a second that every single person on this show has a name that starts with J. That's actually one of the things that we screen for before we look for people to put onto a podcast. So you'll
one thing we look for on a resume.
yeah, you'll notice two of the people actually have the same name, and actually everybody here comes from two families, which is crazy. So I'm Sergeant Rock, and
We're all cousins at some level. You think we're in like Alabama or something?
yeah, so I'm
Alabama.
technically the host this week, but not always. And yeah, moving on, I guess whoever wants to take the next intro with it.
Josh, QCP Rosie, and welcome to our podcast, episode 3.
We've gone over a little blurbs about names and where they came from before. I'm Jay, super fine elf. Not going to go over the story this time, but maybe you can read up on it sometime.
All the QCP bios
On
are
my
actually down.
Wikipedia page.
I
created my own Wikipedia page, so
and,
there's that.
You can add whatever you, want on
You
there.
can whatever, just go if you want to. You can talk to this kid over here now. 'Cause
I'm also Josh, ZeroNet. Yeah. There you go. I got a beard.
He's very interesting. Just
it was
trust
on
us.
it. Like,
Own it. Well, on it.
yeah,
a lot of people say it differently,
Ness.
but it's from Earthbound.
yeah. It'd be ZeroNet.
Yeah, I just took Zero from Mega Man and Onet from Earthbound. I was like, ZeroNet. Yes!
Favorite.
He is a video game. I am.
All right,
Super
well,
Nintendo.
Jonathan or John or Carbot Animations. I'm the guy who does the cartoons.
We're cousins.
We're
Yeah,
all
us
Those
three.
three are
Us
cousins.
three are cousins.
But we're better cousins.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. Yeah, probably.
All right, good.
I can't grow beards.
Well,
You can grow a little bit right
I got a little something right
honestly,
here.
my facial hair goes like this.
You look like you're Japanese.
Yeah, you could be.
It's kind of weird.
You could kind of be Johnny Depp.
I'm like
With
12th
that beard.
generation Japanese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something, it's kind of weird.
You got
yeah.
like the Mark Wahlberg beard.
Like you could totally
The
grow
Wahlberg.
the
Dude,
the
yeah.
senzu.
You could be Mr. Satan. Just like curly hair.
Hercule.
All right.
This is what happens when Burtons get together.
Yeah, anyway.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not a Burton. That's why they're
All right. So we're going to go over the news, things that have been happening specifically regarding Heroes of the Storm. Next weekend, so next Friday till Sunday, I believe, is PAX East in Boston, right? That's where
Yeah.
PAX East is always held. And Blizzard is sending an entire crew, actually, to this event. I don't think they normally send like as much as they're sending this time. But with Diablo 3 just coming out with that expansion and World of Warcraft, they're coming expansion soon, Heroes of the Storm, all that kind of stuff. They're bringing out a ton of stuff. People who go...
Story behind that.
Okay.
People
can
who
I tell
go-
that story?
Oh,
About
do
the-
you have a
About the
story?
Diablo expansion.
The Raper of Souls.
The Raper of Souls.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, go for it, because you
Carbot
actually
Animations
released
presents
you released an
Raper of
episode on that.
Souls.
It's actually really good.
So, when I made the Diablo trailer, okay, I put it when I uploaded it. I actually put in the name Raper of Souls. Okay, days later. This is before I actually released it. I uploaded it like 4 days before. I think like a day later, I corrected it. Okay, so when I went public with it. Everything was fine. It said Reaper of Souls on the YouTube and everything. And but for some reason, when I put it on, when you post that link on Facebook, it's in like the gray text.
Yeah.
And it said raper still. And there's nothing I can do about it. I couldn't
There's
change
no
it.
going back.
Can't edit it.
No
And,
going back.
and Blizzard posted the link. I don't think they were too happy about that. They're like, it says raper. I was like, what? And so, there's nothing.
Yeah.
So they actually took out the link and then they like posted it as like a, hey, check it out, and then like their own custom picture, like customized
yeah.
link kind of thing. So that was good. At least they could fix that. But I didn't know how to fix it.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it was.
Well, when you showed us a little preview though, one day I noticed it said raper. It was like I thought it was just a pun. Like,
Yeah,
it seemed like something you would do.
The most like family-friendly like series. It's just a joke, guys. Come on.
He grabs the spirits and just like.
Yeah, the whole thing is like cartoons look like they're built for kindergarten kids, and we also make rape jokes. So
Yeah.
know your audience. You know, come on, guys, grow
Well,
up.
that's more common now than ever. Like the Happy Tree Friends.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah.
Someone posted that and they're like, it showed it on Netflix. I didn't know what it was.
I couldn't watch it.
And someone put it on, like it was on Netflix and said, like, what was it? Gruesome TV shows or something along those lines. And I was
Yeah.
like, Happy Tree Friends? Like, what is that? I watched a clip
He's
of
been
a,
around for ages.
of a lemonade
Yes.
stand thing that they were
Yeah,
doing.
that's the first one I saw.
I was
The
so
only one I saw.
disturbed. What is this? And he like cuts the eyeball.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, that was like 5 years ago that I saw
Yeah.
it. I'm like,
this is
okay,
like four days ago for me. I was like, what is this
Yeah.
thing?
That got
That's
dark.
anyway.
That got dark quick. Like we started off with PAX East, and now we're talking about anyways, whatever. So
Happy Tree
Blizzard has announced that they're going to be bringing a bunch of computers, from what I've heard, and they're going to be letting people play Heroes of the Storm just like at BlizzCon, which is pretty exciting. If you're going, I'm not. I would love to, but
Where is it?
you know, in Boston. We talked about that. Like we said that a couple minutes ago.
I heard PAX East. That's all I
He's
heard.
Boston.
Yeah. So, and Blizzard said they're going to release a hero or two at the event. They're going to announce a couple more heroes there. So that's exciting. I thought I heard like a new battleground as well, like a new map, but I wasn't able to confirm that. The things that I looked up didn't
That'd
say
be
that.
kind of cool. You need to see what else they would do.
Like a
Yeah,
Wilson.
for sure. For sure,
Yeah,
for sure,
that
for
would
sure.
be awesome.
A capture the flag, I think would be awesome.
Someone had an idea of capture flag would be cool
Yeah.
of Thunder Bluff or another one like it, where there's
Different
three-
tiers, eh?
three teams.
Oh, that would be
That'd
crazy.
be cool.
Imagine how chaotic that would
And
be.
you have to like control the central like.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, whatever you have to do, but there's 3 teams instead of just
That would be,
one
that'd
on
be
one.
cool, man.
Just have it be like King of the Hill, like who can spend the most time
Yeah.
controlling the central like Zelnaga Tower. What are they even called in that game where you put a hero on there and it gives you vision? I'm just being I guess watchtowers maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
That'd be smart though, because then it's not just attacking each lane or whatever. It's actually
yeah, and mercenaries you get would go towards the center rather than. And then at the end of 15 minutes, whoever had the most time.
It'd be interesting because sometimes it'd be smarter just to let the other 2 fight over it.
Yeah.
And then they get a
They
weekend.
die off
then
and
you
then bring in all 5.
Yeah.
Just alt in. Yeah, just alt in.
That'd be interesting.
That would actually be awesome. All right, so part 2 news. The second thing on the list here is, and actually I have a picture for everybody on stream, so this is pretty exciting. We have Blizzard announced a new hero in Heroes of the Storm, and it's Baby Abathur, also known as Pajamather. So there he is. He's pretty he's pretty cute wearing pajamas. Obviously it was a fake. All of his abilities were pretty useless and didn't do much of anything. And but yeah, some other games did some other things. I know like War Thunder. You guys don't play War Thunder, but they had this giant snail crawling. It's like a World War II airplane simulator, like combat simulator, and they had a giant snail that was attacking, and you guys all had to like. It's like a Godzilla snail, which is really weird. But anyways, a lot of games were doing goofy stuff like that. Another thing in the news, Carbot released an episode today. It was. You should. It's pretty good. Yeah.
I was sleeping till 4.
It's good. It was good.
He slept until that's the life.
I went
And
to bed like 7.
yeah, by like 10 o'clock, I had like changed my car headlight and everything. It was nuts, and it took me an hour longer than it should have.
That's what you
And
get from playing Raper of Souls.
yeah, It's season 3, episode 3, called Base to Base. I'm not going to tell you anymore because I don't want to ruin the 2-minute long spoiler. GSL finals were last night. Anyone that was interested in that, it was.
I'm sad I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah, if you go on YouTube, you can see the first match. It was actually really, really good. The first match on GOM TV something is their YouTube title, but ended up being an attempted cannon rush, and it ends up being a pretty good battle after that. So it was a decent first game. It was Sue versus Zest.
Yeah, me too.
Sue's a Zerg player, Zest is a Protoss player, and I'm not going to announce who won in case anyone hasn't seen it. But
it's pretty good when you can like cannon rush and fail at it, but still
recover.
Yeah, and be in the game.
The crazy thing was the cannon rush was beautiful, and the Zerg player never did kill a cannon. He just completely ignored it, and because of the creep, he wasn't able to push in further. But it's really good. Like honestly, if you don't even watch StarCraft, that was a decent enough game to watch. It was really, really good. Also, having nothing to do with video games, Kurt Cobain shot himself 20 years ago today.
Yeah.
So
and they reviewed the case and said there's nothing there.
It's been reviewed. DNA has gone through, and it was still him. So.
And it's still
Just
the
to
same.
update everyone.
Yeah, just update everyone.
they're
We
wondering.
reviewed the case for the 20-year anniversary.
I can't get Courtney Love, but anyway.
All right, so moving into the actual podcast. As you guys know, we've said it 1,000 times. Carbot is here. John, you do have Heroes. You've been playing it, and honestly, and you'll probably verify this. Blizzard has said they're not trying to steal people from League of Legends. They're not trying to steal people from Dota, but they're trying to kind of draw an audience of people who aren't hugely familiar with MOBAs and thinking this is a way that they can become involved in that genre. And I don't think you have a huge background in any of these games. I know you've played Dota, but not enough to really put yourself at a high ranking or anything. But how do you feel playing this game? Like knowing that you are probably the target audience that Blizzard is shooting for.
It's okay. So when I played Dota, I hated the tutorial part.
Yeah.
Oh,
It just felt so long and meaningless. And a good thing you don't have to do like the whole like I don't know. There's like you only have to do 2 of them or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But and the items are confusing and there's like how many characters? Like
A lot.
40?
A lot, and they're all unlocked
50,
at the very
60.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty overwhelming from character selection, and then the items, and then knowledge of those characters and what they can do and what your character can do, and it's a lot of stuff.
It's very daunting.
I feel like it's more units than StarCraft.
Probably.
And they all have at least 3 to 4 abilities, right? So
Yeah.
and then you have the items that have abilities. Anyway, so it is overwhelming. As easy it is to play, the idea of it, the idea isn't very hard to understand.
Yeah.
But with Heroes, you don't have the items, and I already know the characters, and probably most people who will start playing will probably know at least some of the characters. So they'll have an understanding kind of what those characters are, which is a huge advantage in a lot of different ways. But so pretty much the only thing that I was confused about when playing was the maps and the objectives and how they affected everything, which it didn't take too long. But yeah, so that was the only thing that was I felt like was the learning curve, other than getting better at the game, obviously. But yeah, so from someone who doesn't really play MOBAs, I enjoy it. I enjoy it most when I'm playing with. I have it. My 2 brothers have it. We played. All 3 of us played together. Yesterday, and it was the most fun I've ever had playing it. It was awesome. So
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's a game that if you have all 5 guys on a Skype call or something, can be hilariously fun.
yeah, I think so.
Pre-mates
too.
are always better.
Yeah.
No, for
or
sure.
a lot of arguments you might. Yep.
Yeah, especially when you're playing with this guy.
There was something hilarious,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was a lot of fun when we played, and yeah, it was. We won all of our matches except the first one because for some reason when I picked Diablo, I got the siege tank. and that made me mad. and we were all just playing for the first time together. So yeah,
Good.
it was fun.
Good.
Well,
Good.
the tutorial for it.
This is pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't too long. You have to be taught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of made fun of itself. Like I enjoyed the one line where it's like, Rainer's like, wait, why am I attacking them? And I think it was Uther's like, don't ask questions, just do it. And so I enjoyed that. And they had fun with it. I think.
That's like Blizzard's motto. Don't ask questions, just do it.
But
Why am I getting this expansion again?
the humor,
Don't ask questions.
the humor was,
But it's $10 more. It's okay.
It's not right.
You'll die. You'll be fine.
the humor was pretty good. It didn't feel forced, and I don't know, it wasn't too long either. So
That's good.
sorry, it was good.
Good. So do you think that obviously the game is just a shell of what it's going to be? Like we only have the co-op and the the people playing it. There isn't ranked. There isn't all these like the community maps aren't a thing yet and whatever. But from what you've seen, will this appeal to the average gamer? Like what Blizzard's trying to shoot for. Like, do you think they've done a good job with that?
Well, free to play. I mean, like I've already been like when some friends are over or whatever. I wanted to play with them, but it's in technical alpha, so I can't. But like I can imagine, yeah, like you have your friends over, and you're like, or maybe not over, whatever you're talking on Skype or whatever, and only one of you plays Heroes of the Storm, and you're like, hey guys, come play the game with me, it's fun. Like okay, and they can because it's free. Whereas like with a lot of other games, you have to purchase it, and they don't want to do that. Like we're like, a lot of people are cheap; they don't want to spend the money, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
It's
A
always
lot of them
kinda,
are college students or whatever.
it's always kind of iffy when you have a LAN party and people who don't normally play that game have to purchase the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Because
true.
you have in your mind, like, am I going to play this game after this next day or
Yeah.
for however long you're having your LAN party for?
Yeah.
So when it's
exactly.
free to play, it's just there. Like
Yeah.
you can just like
Just download it.
it.
Do you have
and
enough
then,
bandwidth, pretty much?
yeah,
Is the
Yeah.
question.
that's pretty much it.
And it's not even that big. It's like what 2.5, 3 gigs or something. Like
Is it?
Well,
Yeah.
right now.
yeah, give it time, right?
Yeah, I feel like 12 gigs by the end of it.
Once
Yeah.
they add all the
That'd be good
announcer
then.
packs and stuff.
That means
12 gigs.
Well, it's like what WoW's like 30 gigs.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Something
Well, it's not the
ridiculous.
same. It's not quite the same as WoW. There's not as much content in it, but that's
No.
why I said 12.
Mind you, it's the same engine as StarCraft, so it might share a ton of files of StarCraft, and it might even pull it from your previous StarCraft installation. So if you didn't have StarCraft, it might be a much bigger download. I don't know, but anyways. Okay, so a couple quick ones, John. Favorite hero?
he's always talking.
I don't know. I don't think you know what you're talking about. Justin.
Favorite hero? Favorite hero, John.
Favorite hero.
Oh, my favorite hero? Well, if anyone who's watched my stream, it's pretty obvious that it's Diablo, because he's freaking a beast.
Do you like get the chain fire thing and you're just like,
Well, okay, so it's best because like some people like overstep, and like I usually kind of hang around the tower.
yeah.
And if they come close to me, I just grab them, chuck them behind me, and then ram them, and they go. Sometimes they go through the gate.
So
And
they're
then they're
stuck there.
Yeah.
They can't go back out.
Can you like throw them behind the
No,
guy?
he pretty much picks them up and slams them behind him. But
Oh,
then
yeah,
you can do I think it's called Shadow Dash, and
Yeah.
it knocks them back.
Yeah.
And
But it
and
goes through.
It's well, the gate they can go through if you do that. The one time I did it to the barbarian, I'm like, "You're dead now! You're dead now!" And then she leaped away. I was like,
Oh.
I once saw a barbarian jump over the gate and commit suicide. That was pretty funny.
I
Just out of nowhere.
pretty sure like I've seen Kerrigan jump over the wall, like
Mm.
into the opposing team's base or whatever, just like whoop, it's
yeah, she has like a
behind it.
jump.
Yeah, you like jump
Yeah,
onto
Diablo's
things.
definitely my favorite, just because I always like it feels powerful, even though if I'm not doing like a ton of damage, he feels powerful because I'm controlling them, picking them
Yeah.
up and placing them where I want.
Yeah.
You can also get charges for that ability. You get a talent, it can have 2 stacks.
Oh, really?
So you pick them up, put them behind you, and if they try to run away again, you pick them up. So yeah, I don't know. It's just he's fun, and I usually like the chaotic characters like that kind of thing.
But he's a warrior class, right?
Yeah.
So how beefy is he?
Yeah, he's pretty beefy. He can heal himself if you get the right talents. He gets like souls from minions, and so he can like. It looks like he's powering up.
Channels.
And then he eats them up to heal. But
Takes all the souls
So
and
I-
just rapes them.
it doesn't feel like he's like the most like hit points character, but because of that, he can come back in the battle pretty quick.
Good.
And
And
mercenary camps and stuff like that, like team fights around stuff like
Yeah.
that, because he can just draw from.
He can't escape too well though. He has nothing to escape. Which
Yeah.
kind of sucks. He used to actually. I played I played in September.
Oh yeah, right.
Um,
When you went down.
Yeah, and he used to have, and I liked it a lot. He used to have, it had up to three stacks, and he would claw and kind of dash like just a little bit and go through some guys, and you could do that 3 times.
So it's like
within 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go and kind of go through guys, and so sometimes when I was playing there, you could do that to escape kind of thing. I don't know if I was allowed to share that, but it's out. So
But there it is.
it's old information.
Glad that they have that Diablo and not the Diablo 3 Diablo, because I wasn't
Yeah.
a huge fan of that one.
Yeah, well, I think they, yeah.
Well, the Diablo 2 Diablo, like, kind of iconic.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah, like he's just
So scary.
It's just big. Like,
He was still like even like when you beat Bale, you go fight Diablo, and he was still hard.
yeah.
Like no matter what, he was always
Well,
hard.
I used to play a summoner druid and a
Especially
summoner
Chaos Sanctuary.
necromancer,
That's the worst idea.
and you could not beat like in Duriel.
You have your
Like, I would have like 50 skeletons. Yeah, he's just like, yo, and just crush them all. And I'm like, okay, well now what do I do?
You
My
said that
skeletons are
entire,
dead.
And then you're like bone spear.
skeleton army as a necromancer. Diablo comes out, a fire nova happens, and all just like.
And like all I have is 2 teeth, just like shooting down.
Bone Spear was the way to go.
Yeah, Bone Spear was really good.
Sick.
Anyway, here's
On-
the story.
On that note, I know it's kind of off topic, but you guys can't hear it sitting on the couch, but Diablo 2 music is actually playing in the background. The first episode we did World of Warcraft, second episode we had StarCraft, Brood War music, right now we're playing Diablo 2 music.
Should
So
have put
Fitting.
the Tristram music is what you should have done.
we passed it. It was one of the tracks.
Oh, okay.
It's in there. All right, so John, and the last question.
The
Yeah.
first
Yes.
Diablo episode.
Diablo had such good music. Okay, last question in the quick fire round, which has been very long.
So not so
Slow
quick.
fire
Your least favorite hero, and I think I know the answer. I think you just touched on your least favorite hero, but
Oh, the siege tank?
is that your least favorite?
Probably. It's kind of boring. You sit there like you're a siege tank. Siege tanks, literally, you don't micro them in the game. So like you can't do too much. Like there are some things you throw some mines down, some spider mines, and then you can blast them away. It's like a knockback
Yeah.
cone thing. But you siege up, and sieging up is like in StarCraft 2 is when you don't want to, I don't have to micro them anymore because they're sieged. They don't do anything other than kill everything around them.
Yeah.
But I'd probably say the siege tank it's very clunky and kind of boring.
I can see her being really good in tournament play. Though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not saying she's
Like,
useless at all.
Yeah,
but it's,
I know what you mean when you say boring. Like boring to
Yeah,
play,
boring.
but
Yeah.
very strong in a good team comp.
Yeah. And plus,
Like,
she can hit the towers.
Yeah,
without
and
being
does
hit.
extra damage to buildings.
Yeah, so it's
like
like
it's
Well,
Yeah.
her setup that she has her kit or whatever is actually really good in the sense of so she can siege and she's in siege mode. And she can put freaking spider mines down, which help your defense as well in case
Yeah.
anyone gets up to you. Plus, you have that knockback.
Yeah.
So someone you're shooting, and people are coming close to you, shooting. They get close to you, you knock back, unsiege, gives you enough time to unsiege after the knockback, and then you can start.
And then you
And
jet
well,
away.
not only
Yeah.
that, she has a talent that the blast that you do creates a wall.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So when you blast, it
I
puts
didn't
up a wall, so they're kind of stuck
Oh, that's
behind the
I didn't
wall.
know that.
So if you blast them, and then there's the wall, and then there's minions,
all
their
her
body
all her
blocks.
skills and talents are definitely geared towards purpose.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Which I say
She's
that's
not
why
just like
she'd be
she's not
strong.
just like a siege tank where you siege and unsiege and like take
That's all you do.
it take 12 minutes to friggin' change stances or whatever.
Well, Tyrael was also kind of boring. At least I didn't find him very fun. Like, especially Tyrael looks so cool and he is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was kind of boring.
I've heard that a lot, actually. I was watching somebody stream.
I don't enjoy him.
I don't recall who it was. But one of the guys he was playing with, actually, I think it was Tasteless.
Yeah.
One of the guys in his team was just like, never pick Tyrael.
Yeah.
Like, he's just terrible. And then they lost that game, and Tyrael had the most takedowns. Which I thought was really funny. And they're all just like, yeah, he's so bad, eh? And he's like, he's garbage. He's garbage. Even though he was top, like, everything.
Yeah, his moves are kind of boring. Like, the only interesting one is when he throws a sword, then he
Right.
do it again, he teleports that sword.
Yeah,
It's like-
yeah.
That
But
reminds me.
other than that, he like does a shield, and what else does he?
Well,
Oh,
he-
he does a link thing,
I think
a spirit link.
But that's
or
the
whatever.
thing, right? Like, I think these characters in this game, under the right circumstances, under the right map, and under the right player, can be really strong. All of them.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they're not strong. It's just less interesting, less visually interesting.
Right,
I should
yeah.
probably say, because I do like the visual kind of like
Oh, yeah, me
you
too.
see
And
the
that-
effects and stuff.
And that's
like
where it's going to come down to the player to see what they can do with that kit, to see like what they can do with the abilities,
Yeah.
and make it look interesting, and change the way that people look at some of these heroes. Because
Well, that's when my brothers Andrew and Sam, when they play World of Warcraft, a lot of times, especially Sam, he would find out what's not popular or what's not good, what kind of
Like when he was a
skill set
melee
or-
hunter.
Yeah, when he was a melee hunter, you know, and then he would exploit that, and a lot of times it worked because people are used to it. They're like,
They're
what?
expecting it.
How are you doing this? And then apparently he was telling me that apparently when he was a melee hunter, then an update happened and melee hunters were a lot more viable or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, this is stupid. That's how he can play the character anymore. Even though the character is technically better.
Like when you're talking back to like visually like appealing when it comes to characters and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
you think of Tyrael, who's an angel.
Visually appealing
He's
in
an
the first
angel,
place.
and he's from heaven, and you'd expect him to have these abilities that relate to
Awesome,
who
man.
he is. Like, and like you want to see this beam of something come down from the sky, and like, you know, like all these things relate, but you don't see that.
Instead
And
of
I
like
think
a shield, they could have maybe done a beam of light,
Yeah.
with an aura, and it's like a stronghold.
exactly,
You stay
like
in
he
there, you
summons
get-
something from the sky, or
Shielded
an
or-
army of angels flies down or something. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you don't see that.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, the
Well,
disappointment there.
it's still alpha, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
So they're probably
How
still
many-
working on
He
the art.
stayed the same when I played, which
Yeah.
I did say to him. I was like, I kind of feel boring.
but there's still
Yeah, he's
games
good.
like now, even Smite has done it, where they've completely removed somebody from the game and totally reworked their kit, and then implemented them in like a month later or something.
I think it'd be cool
So
if.
it's-
Sorry to cut you off. I think it'd be cool if he could, because he has in the cinematics, he grabs someone with the tentacle or tentacle wing thing.
yeah, that's right.
and then maybe like stun them and shock them there for a bit. You know,
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool actually.
damage wouldn't be very high, but it would hold them there for a bit.
Right, because it's a CC. You don't need.
Or maybe those wings come out. One of them comes out and holds them, and they can't go outside his radius for like.
Yeah.
You know, they can move still, but they can't go outside the radius because the.
That'd be awesome.
Just
Something
drags
like
him
that.
around.
Something that's more interesting, I guess. You know, more
Becomes a
visual
leash.
Fun.
Yeah.
I do think if they bring in like Bale,
Oh,
that he should have a multiply, like where
Yeah.
he makes copies of himself.
The
Oh
ice
my
beam.
God.
I want to see the ice beam. The thing was so.
I want to play Duriel.
Yeah.
Just like friggin'
walking
claw
around
around
with
a giant slug with friggin' claw. I remember this one time I think I was playing with you.
Yeah, with puppy.
Yeah, and we were playing
Because I was a summoner druid.
I thought I was the druid summoning my wolves. And
You always went werewolves.
Yeah, but I still. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, well, there was one of us had wolves. Yeah, whatever. One of us had wolves that were like attacking Duriel, and honestly, there's this point where he was attacking us. For some reason, he decides to just turn at the wolf and just go and kill it.
And kill it.
And so when it happened, I don't even know where it came from, but I just go, oh, puppy! And he just like kills it.
And he starts going back and just starts.
And then he starts going ham on us. I'm like, what the hell? Anyway.
All right.
I do have another question for you.
Okay, yeah, feel free, man.
Last week's podcast, we talked, and we actually talked quite a bit about it, is the power of towers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
And
yeah.
how they
I was
don't
listening to it.
and how they don't focus on the heroes, and we feel that maybe they could do a little bit more damage. That is, you playing the game. I was wondering how you would.
Yeah.
You would
Actually,
think
that's
about that.
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
Actually, because I was listening to the YouTube pod. Yeah, I think heroes actually die pretty quick. On a one-on-one, they don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But even then, sometimes, like, I think I'm Diablo all the time, and I grab them and I don't let them escape. But I like the pacing of that, them dying with speed, because it gives you at least a little bit of time to think. And if they die any quicker, it'd be very frustrating. Because
Oh, yeah.
even sometimes, like, I'm a warrior, I'm a tank guy, and I die pretty quick.
Right.
So, if I make a stupid decision, or they just come out of nowhere, kind of thing. But as for towers, they hurt a lot in the beginning. If like they'll kill you, Diablo probably kill them in 6 or 7 hits. Like, you see every hit, and it hurts
And there's
a lot.
2 towers there.
There's 2 towers, exactly. So you'll die pretty quick. But they always attack the minions first.
Yeah.
Right.
But then they also run out of ammo. So I understand you guys' point. It's like maybe they should be more powerful because they do run out of ammo.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think that's what they wanted the game to be flexible enough to be like, it could be a short game, it could be a long game, and to exploit that ammo. And if they're running out of ammo, then that means the other team is kind of screwing that up. They're not there
Right.
to push you away so they can recover the ammo. So I kind of like that. Maybe that it'd be kind of neat if you could go back to a building and get ammo for a building.
Yeah.
Or like maybe like the main spawn, you can grab ammo for a building and play back in.
They can make a SCV hero.
Yeah,
Well,
or something.
Have you seen the mules?
Runs around and refresh, like,
There's for some heroes they get talents to repair buildings. To
Yeah.
call down a mule
Oh,
or whatever.
totally.
Yeah, like the witch doctor.
I think that should change.
The witch
per
doctor?
hero.
The witch doctor can call down a mule.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like
sense.
They all do
I
the same
think it's
thing.
because it's part of the specialist.
Yeah,
I
it
know,
might
but
it might be the
a
role of the
specialist
hero.
who would logically make sense to send out a mule, like some sort of
Yeah,
witch
they
doctor.
send down like a.
So I'm just like, oh yeah,
radioing in. Hey, we need a mule.
I'm part of the StarCraft universe.
Well, because
Should-
it makes sense with Raynor fighting Diablo, right?
No, that's what I said. I honestly, this was my comment before, is for this cinematic with the Heroes
Yeah.
cinematic, right? I think instead of Raynor fighting, not Raynor fighting Diablo, but instead of Nova being in there, Thrall from
Yeah,
Warcraft
there's only one
should have been there
Warcraft character.
because it didn't make sense
Yeah.
to me to have 3 StarCraft characters.
Yeah.
And then
I found that weird.
Diablo
Actually,
characters in one.
StarCraft is probably the smallest out of the 3.
yeah, but there was no. I just felt like Thrall should have been there against Arthas or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Sylvanas even.
I was surprised because Warcraft's the biggest and they only have one.
I know.
hero.
I thought
Really?
it was kind of odd. I was like, oh.
Oh, I said to them, after because I didn't see it. I was supposed to see it when I was down in September, but I said when I saw it at BlizzCon, I'm like, I'm a little disappointed because they're in a sandstorm and not a blizzard.
Yeah.
Like
Sand Blizzard, right?
Yeah,
It's
Sans
Blizzard.
Blizzard.
Heroes of the Storm, and they're in a blizzard. Like, that's the,
Yeah.
kind of the thing they were going for.
There's
Yeah.
something a little quirky that they could have done.
That would have been so cool. But then again, I think it's like Arthas territory or something.
Do you think Raynor being that close to that nuclear explosion would have died?
No, he's fine.
I feel like he's just like,
It's
oh,
fine.
puts his visor down. I'm good.
Good. It only does 500 damage. You get 600.
No, his visor deflects like damage.
Alright.
Well, Harrison Ford survived in a fridge, right?
I mean, no, Indiana Jones did.
Yeah.
Harrison
Indiana
Ford
Jones-
is Indiana Jones.
He's like the MacGyver of friggin' movies.
all right. Let's move on to our first big point that we want to be talking about. Blizzard has, I don't know if they've coined the term or this is something that the community has kind of coined for them, but the whole easy to learn, hard to master. So Blizzard has said that they want their games to be easy to jump into, but still have plenty of depth. Like we can see with Hearthstone. Anybody can jump into Hearthstone, you can quickly read what each card does, but it has enough depth that we actually have kind of a competitive scene. Like it's, guys fighting over, a couple $100, which is something, but it obviously shows that there's some depth there. And we can obviously assume that this is what they want to see with Heroes as well. So as John just said, he says it's pretty easy to jump into. You got to learn the maps a little bit, but that's that comes with it. Now, do we think that this game has enough depth that it's going to keep people playing for years and years, like you would for, say, StarCraft or World of Warcraft or even Diablo?
I think one part is the possibility of Heroes to play. Combining Diablo and Warcraft in general, and StarCraft all together, all the possible characters that they could bring into this game is like endless, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is enough to keep some players, like certain players, will be like, oh yeah, I would really like to see this character, and then it comes out, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. So I think that aspect of it will keep the interest of a lot of people. But I think there will be people who are loyal to Blizzard that will play this game because it's Blizzard.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's gonna have legs because the community-based map building.
Oh, that exactly.
Like that's gonna be huge
that's
because
key,
it's gonna change all the time, and then someone's gonna come up with a new map that is just awesome and nobody else thought about, and then people are gonna start playing that, and it's just gonna happen and keep happening.
I wonder if.
So I think that's what's gonna give it.
That is going to divide it from the other mobiles.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I wonder if they're gonna do it like they
People
do in
love that.
StarCraft, where they have like an arcade section. You can go through and you can look and see the different maps that people have, and
probably.
then have games that are already there. You can just. You can just join. You join the lobby, and then when it's full, you start it up.
Yeah.
On that note about the 3 franchises thing, like just like as we were talking about characters, and then we're like, yeah, it'd be cool to see Bale. Like, and then we started talking about Diablo 2.
Yeah.
And like that's what's gonna happen with people. They're gonna be like, they're gonna play a character or want to see a character made, and they're gonna start reminiscing on nostalgia. Their past game experiences with Blizzard games, which they might even just go out and buy again because they want to play it again. And that's the genius thing about this. Just like with like Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Because that honestly feeds like I never heard of Pit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Icarus?
I didn't
Kid
know.
Icarus?
Yeah.
What?
I had no idea who
This
that was.
guy.
I didn't know who Ness was either.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
Well, I guess Ness is more obscure.
And I love Ness. But,
Yeah, Ness is awesome.
And now I want to play Earthbound because whatever. But
Earthbound isn't awesome.
and some people the same thing. They might have not even might not know who Bale is.
Yeah.
They're like, who's Bale? And then they like the character, and now they're interested. They'll watch cinematics on YouTube maybe, and they'll be like, man, I want to play this game now, and then might go buy it.
Remember Bale in Hieroglyph or whatever when he comes to the barbarians at the entrance of their gate?
What?
There's a cinematic where Bale comes to the Act 5.
Oh,
To the
yeah.
barbarians and stuff, and just like annihilates everything. All the demons just come out and just attack.
Yeah.
That was a wicked.
There was one
cinematic.
funny thing about that cinematic.
Which part?
The bridge was this big.
I don't know.
and the entire front line, the entire vanguard of the demons march forward, and there's a pit all around this wall, and there's only one little bridge. It doesn't show it.
Demons fly.
It doesn't show them, obviously. It cuts that off. That's off stage. But
Demons can go through floors and walls, so they can hover over.
So going,
some of them.
going to the
They built a bridge with themselves.
Going to the easy to learn, hard to master.
right.
Yeah.
I think that the part that's going to be not even so much hard to master, but the best thing to master is going to be working with your team.
Yes.
It's knowing when
Yeah.
to go down to the mines, knowing when to do certain things for the certain map that you're on to push that lane. I think that's going to be the hardest thing to master for people, because there's going to be people that have never played this style of game together, so you have to learn how that person plays. You have to learn how they play when you lane with somebody.
Yeah.
Because when you just throw two people together that are laning together, that takes a lot of coordination.
Mm.
It takes a little bit of time. Like Josh and I, we used to play Smite together, and at first we would struggle because I wouldn't know how aggressive he is under certain circumstances, and vice versa.
I'm just always aggressive.
We learned really quick.
Yeah,
I just always go in.
Then with me, I started jungling, and he had to start solo laning, and we had to learn it all over again.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the
Learning
funnest
different
thing
roles
to
and stuff,
master is going to be working with the team.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that.
That's like-
to master. That's what I take from it.
You're mastering heroes. You're mastering the map. You're mastering team play. You're mastering objectives. Like there's several things as opposed to just maybe mastering a character in League of Legends or something and just playing the map because the map is the same. There's a couple different maps, but for the most part, when it comes to League play or something, it's a 5v5 3-lane map.
Yeah.
And you master that quickly because it's the same thing.
But it's also in League of Legends and stuff. It's matchups that you have to master. You have to know the other champions and stuff like that.
But that's
too.
any of these games you're gonna want to.
Well, yeah. So that's part of the MOBA scene is like knowing who you're up against and what sort of kit they have, so that you can,
What I think is really good that Smite did was give you the option of mastering gods. Like you play a certain god for so long, you get favor, and then you level that god, and you get mastery levels with that. And for me, that's helped me play because I've constantly been wanting to level those, like master those gods so I can get those mastery points, but also I'm learning other gods not only to play but to face against. So I know that this god can do this and this and this, and if he doesn't have this cooldown, then that's when to take him out.
Yeah, the best way to know a certain character's weakness is to play them and to die playing. Because when you make a mistake, you're like, oh well, I don't have this now.
Yeah,
I can't do this. So when you go and you play against that player and you see them do exactly what you did when you died, you can capitalize on it.
Yeah.
And overall, that just makes you a better player.
Actually, I think it does have quite a bit of depth, and because generally I get for Diablo I get the lightning inferno.
Yeah.
I call it lightning breath, but it looks like fire. But because it's cool and it does lots and lots of damage. But on the Raven level with the curses, I get the other one, the Apocalypse one, because and what that does is to all heroes on the map, it takes about half a second to go off, but it makes like this aura around them, all the enemy ones, and then an explosion happens and they get hit and stunned for like a second. And I get that one on that map because of the tributes that you have to capture and channel.
Oh, true. So
so if I'm not there and nobody else is, or maybe we just need that extra, couple seconds, then I use it.
Right.
Kind of thing. And so that the map has affected my decision making, and I thought of that all by myself.
Oh, look at you!
But
I'm impressed, man.
And I'm sure, and that might change over time. Like maybe if I am a little bit more active with getting the attributes, maybe it would be better to get the Inferno one. But all I knew was that there's been tons of times where I'm on the other side of the map and I'm damaged or whatever, and I can't even help.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But in that way, I can if I get that Apocalypse one.
Yeah. And that's what's kind of cool is like when you know the maps and you know your hero, you can kind of customize it for each map, and that's kind of another part of it.
There's a god in Smite who has a global similar to that in the sense of his name's Shibalanke, and his ult is it darkens everything across the map for like 5 seconds or something, and there's like this Mayan face clock thing that comes up and it like ticks as it's going, and after the last second, it stuns everyone who's moving. And so it's black within like, I don't know, it's just around your character just by 5 yards or something. You can't see anything, just pitch black.
Yeah.
And then if you're moving, when that time runs out, everyone gets stunned for like a second or two or something. And so I usually use that whether I'm fighting, but sometimes I come out of the jungle and I use it so they don't see me. But if I'm not in the team fight, I can use it and maybe stun someone that's trying to get away from my team and get that kill. Like
it's stuff like that, like the Diablo thing, the stun. It's good for an initiation. It's good for a mid-battle team fight, and it's good for an end-battle team fight.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the enemy team comp as to when you want to use it most. Because if some barbarian's whirlwinding or something, and she's just going ham on it. If you want to stop that, then you can with your Apocalypse. Or if they're trying to run away, you can
Actually, that's the only spell that I actually escaped by using Apocalypse. I'm gonna die! Press R or whatever the heck it was. We got out of here. I got out alive.
well, that's what I would do with that character from Smite too.
Yeah, it's only like a second, so it doesn't delay very long. But
But
when they start when everyone starts,
it really does.
They start cluttering together, then they're all over the place.
Yeah.
So it has a good chance of hitting them.
Yeah, and there are like end game fights when you're at like forts and stuff, and all the heroes are clumped together. You could like step off your circle and step on someone else's, and you still get stunned because everyone's so close. It's like a big ball of stunned auras that go off, which is kind of cool.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think just because I played Diablo the most by far, and just like that spell alone, there's a lot of choices there. When do you use it? When's the best time to use it? Are you using it offensively, defensively? And so far it's been kind of an equal amount. Actually, it's probably a little bit more defensive, but yeah. And like I think that happens with like everyone's skills for the most part, kind of thing. Just like with the when I stay near the towers so I can toss them into the gate, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, stuff like
I
that.
think they'll fix that.
I'm hoping
Probably,
not.
yeah. Hope not. But
It's-
it seems kind of
hard.
buggy.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah, but it seems like
Like I haven't done it every game.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when I do it, this is the
You're like
best feeling. Either way though, they go into the towers even if they don't go into the gate, and they get pummeled, and a lot of times they die anyway.
Yeah,
So it's powerful either way.
that's awesome.
Yeah. But behind the gate is.
And they got nowhere.
All right, good. Yeah, I think now if we're going to step back into the time machine of Blizzard past and look at Brood War, which I think we'll all agree was the first big esport. It's pretty much Quake and Brood War were the two big ones that were going even before like anything really that I can think of, before MOBAs even existed. And Blizzard hadn't really anticipated that. They didn't. Nobody had really as developers. They didn't realize that an esport could possibly really be a thing that's viable. And so they were kind of slow to release patches, especially when it came to balance. And so the way that the community worked around that is that they built maps, and the balancing was done through the community maps. And I think because Blizzard is kind of giving these tools to the community again in Heroes of the Storm, that if the game itself is lacking depth, then we'll see it through the maps. Like you'll see maps that you definitely cannot play certain heroes and ones that excel on it and whatnot. Because, if you look in StarCraft, certain maps, like for example Protoss, this is kind of going into it, but Protoss was really strong recently, and a lot of guys, pro players, were saying that was because of the maps. And in Heroes, you're not really going to have that because, let's say in a competitive scene, you could ban a hero or just pick that hero, and everyone has an equal chance. It's not like you're locked into a certain race or something. So you can have really, really creative maps without really having to worry about that. And I think that's really
I think
exciting.
it's the most genius thing is to get the community to work for you.
Oh, for sure.
It's so,
Yeah.
Everybody wins too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody wins. You get like like the best ideas are going to surface, and everyone's going to love it, and they're going to play it.
Well, that's
and I still really hope and think that because we've been playing a lot of Diablo 3 recently. I don't know why there's no custom map editor on there just for fun.
Yeah.
Like
I'll make your own cow level?
Dungeon builder. You guys, like whatever.
I still think, I know we're kind of getting off topic quite a bit tonight, but the whole thing with the Diablo 3 map editor, we talk about this quite often actually.
Yeah.
Is the endless dungeon,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
and it's just level upon level
Yeah.
upon level, just to see how far down you can go, and like every 5
It
levels,
gets
so every
harder
10
every
levels,
time.
it gets harder, and there's
Oh, wow, yeah.
more elites,
That would
and
be
there's
the
more
best.
buffs that they would have and stuff, and just to see how far down into the
Because it also
hell
gives you kind of
go.
a gauge of how far your character's progressing, like gear-wise and
Yeah.
everything.
I just think it'd be kind of
Because
cool.
you get further and further.
But I might steal this point away from here, Dustin. But talking about the esports thing, I think it's really cool that Red Bull seems to be kind of backing it and thinking that Heroes could be one of the the
Next
the
big
next
ones.
big esports,
I hope so.
which is really
That'd be good
cool
business for
to
me.
have a giant like Red Bull be doing that, because it's up to the community for sure, but we also need to have sponsorships for these kind of big tournaments and stuff if you want them to really go somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and the point that I wrote down, let's take a look at two different professional esports, and let's do the two that are done by GOM TV. If you guys are familiar, they do the GSL in Korea. I don't know if they're still doing it because I didn't really care to follow it, but they do StarCraft 2, like they had their finals last night. And they also did, at least, World of Tanks. And the interesting thing about these two games is that World of Tanks was completely funded by... what's the name of the company? Anyways, the company that made World of Tanks. It wasn't a self-sustaining esport. It wasn't a natural esport. It was money from that company was funding everything. because sponsors wouldn't have signed on because it's not that big. And the developers of World of Tanks were hoping that because the money's there, like if you build it, they will come kind of thing. Whereas with esports, it's kind of the opposite, where the community has to be big in order for it to succeed. So Blizzard could sit there, and I'm sure they're going to make a decent amount of money off this game. And even if they don't, what they make off World of Warcraft is probably enough. But they could sit there and they could throw in, every 2 months, $100,000 prize pool, right? But that's not the kind of company that they are. So it has to come from inside the community. Now, Red Bull says it should happen. And we could list 1,000 reasons why, right? Like, Blizzard fanboys are pretty big. You're pulling in all three of the big, games of Blizzard, and that alone is a huge, huge audience.
What most popular game right now is League of Legends, which is the Nova. So
yeah? League of Legends, Dota, and StarCraft 2 are probably, as far as competitive esports go, they would have to be the biggest three.
League of Legends always
Pulls
very
in.
rarely is it not at the top of Twitch.
Yeah.
The only time
Pokemon was for a bit there because
When Twitch plays
that was
Pokemon?
like
Yeah.
That was that weird community-based
social
chat.
experiment.
that was insane.
But and then the other day it wasn't I can't remember what it was. It was probably some big name playing some other game or something. I don't know, but it's very rarely. not.
League of Legends is almost
and
always
with
top.
Blizzard characters, the king of the PC, mostly anyway. Like they're the biggest PC gaming company. Am I right?
well, pretty much
Pretty much.
everybody has at least heard of
Starcraft.
StarCraft.
I know.
Warcraft.
Obviously,
Yeah.
like there's the other game companies who do console games and then some PC games.
Yeah.
But I mean, like
Yeah.
just pure PC. I'm pretty sure Blizzard is.
Well, Diablo 3 is one of the top 10
Yeah.
selling
Well,
PC
I-
games.
I-
out
I'm
there.
pretty
Well,
sure.
they now just did Diablo 3 on just
Console.
listening on the console.
Yeah,
so
That's true, yeah.
They're up there.
Well, they started out on
Yeah,
console.
I know
like,
what you're saying. Though.
They're up there.
With what was the racing game that Blizzard first did?
Rock and Roll Racing?
Rock and Roll Racing, and then they had the
The Lost Vikings?
Yeah, they're up there
Lost
anyway.
Vikings.
And
They-
so if you play computer games, you're probably playing Blizzard games or Counter Strike.
yes.
Also, remember they had
So many hours
StarCraft.
on it.
They had StarCraft on console at one point.
Oh my
in time.
God.
Yeah, StarCraft 64.
Yeah, StarCraft 64.
Remember
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
terrible that
That
was?
was the worst idea.
Well,
We- we just-
apparently that wasn't made by Blizzard.
It was
Yeah,
licensed by
it
Blizzard.
was
They didn't
adapted by
develop
another
it.
company.
Yeah,
they
Just
didn't
like
develop
Diablo 1 on PlayStation 1. It was
Yeah.
adapted by another company.
Yeah. So they have the permission, obviously.
Yeah.
There was
Did it behind my back.
And we'll let it go.
there was a point I wanted to make about like the community in regards to heroes and the community building their own maps and stuff like that, and how important that's going to be. Well, it doesn't surprise me that they're doing that, seeing as how the whole Dota MOBA thing came from a community-based map that someone built in Warcraft.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's where all of this is stemmed from.
It was from Blizzard.
But that's what
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
Blizzard didn't create it. They created the game, but some person decided this was the cool concept for a map, and from there we got these games that are so popular now.
They're just giant.
Yeah, they're huge now. So I mean, who knows what can stem from someone in the community creating a map for this game, and then
Who
Then
knows?
it
We could
becomes
have a
big.
whole new genre
yeah,
of game. coming
exactly.
out.
So it's a smart move on their part to.
And honestly,
allow them
they've
to.
been so as much as people well, I think it's been a lot less now, but people have been saying Blizzard, you don't listen to us, Blizzard this and stuff.
I don't agree
Um,
with that.
We're working with them, kind of. I'm not hired by them, but I've had a lot of talks with them and stuff like that. They are totally turning into a community-based company. They're focusing on that so much more now. I think they're doing it more and more.
Yeah. I think they realized from World of Warcraft
Yeah.
what happens when they don't listen.
Well, and Diablo 3. when
yeah,
that
Diablo
came
3
out.
when that first came
well,
out,
it
it was
was
awful.
Porches and tit forks. I was gonna say.
Porches and tit forks.
Yeah, but and pitchforks. But I think I think that's the only reason why they've promoted me so much too. Is they're realizing this community thing is a big thing.
Oh yeah.
It's huge. It's getting bigger and bigger, especially with Twitch, and especially with social media like Reddit and whatever else is out there, kind of
YouTube,
thing.
yeah.
The groups that are, what is it, MMO.net? What is it? The website?
Oh, MMO Champion.
MMO Champion, and it's all these websites and social media that gets people's voices heard and stuff like that, Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think they're really becoming that kind of company. At least if they're not there yet, they're going to be.
And that drives the community even more.
Because now they're like, wow, I can make a difference.
Yeah, my
Well,
voice is actually heard.
There's it's funny because you said something about Blizzard not listening to the community, but I want to give you an example in regards to World of Warcraft. And there is this guy who made this video about WoW and where it was and how it got and where it is now. And there was a point that I thought was genius, and it was just like something that I feel as well, is in regards to some gamers, a lot of gamers complain and say, oh, this is taking too long, or I want to get this faster, and so Blizzard's like, well, they listen, and they're like, okay, well, let's change this and make it so you get to this level faster and so forth. But he explained, he's like, but we say these things, but we don't really want them. Like, we don't.
We're just blowing steam.
Yeah, we really don't want to only take, a day or two to level max level. There was a fun and adventure and excitement in leveling and taking you a couple months to get to that point to do raid content or whatever, your interest may be. But like we may say we want these things, but we really don't.
It's like having all the heroes and Heroes of the Storm. If you had them all,
Yeah.
like actually,
it's kind of overwhelming.
Ben Ayers, he was playing Warframe, and he's like, and it's kind of the same kind of idea, and you don't get all the content and crap like that. And he's like, once I get this, I think I'll be happy and done playing.
And then you get it,
And you get it, and you're done. Like you know what I mean? But if you had it already, you probably play for like a couple hours and that's it. But he's gonna invest X amount of hours because he wants to try this thing out.
Yeah.
And then it keeps on going, kind of thing. But so like with Heroes of Storm, it's good that they're on rotation. It's good that it makes you have goals. I like the daily quests.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy those. I think that's kind of cool, although I don't listen to them when they tell me to play another class or another character.
Just play
I was like, oh,
Diablo.
Diablo.
Diablo it is.
Like, what did you say? Play Diablo? Okay.
John's just like, well, tomorrow I'll get a new daily quest. Diablo.
Yeah, exactly. It's still trying to tell me to win a game with all different classes. But
Let's see. I got Warrior and that's it.
yeah, Warrior Diablo. Anyway,
Diablo was the Warrior.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the community kind of side. I think that is Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
I think more than all their games, the community side is Heroes of the Storm for Blizzard because I think it's completely driven by the community.
Mm-hmm.
So those map things and stuff like that, they're going to please the community as much as they can.
It's all three of their franchises coming together.
Mm-hmm. And plus, when they try to get people to pay more money to get new characters, it's just doing models, and that's not
that's not that
long.
big.
It's not like they're programming and thinking about storylines and acting, and well, they might have to throw in some voice acting, but it's
Balance their abilities and stuff.
but it's minimal.
Yeah.
For like they make like millions of dollars off a character model, like it's minimal. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be completely community driven.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited because let's look at kind of the StarCraft 2 competitive scene because it's obviously the biggest of the Blizzard competitive anything. Like WoW Arena is hardly anything. The maps that are picked for ladder, and those ones are picked by Blizzard versus the maps that you see in tournament play, normally aren't the same pools. Like there'll be some overlap, but the community maps, especially at the highest level, are always the better maps. And the ones that you do see on the actual like ladder pool, like that are picked by Blizzard, are normally picked by Blizzard, but they were made by the community. And so it just shows right there, nobody's making money off of making maps for StarCraft 2. Like maybe you'll have a tournament organizer saying, we need a map that does this, I'll pay $20 to make it. But I haven't even heard of that. So the fact that people are willing to do this for free, and that's just the StarCraft community, which is probably the smallest of the three franchises, I'm super excited to see what people can come up with. And I think as far as an esport perspective, that's going to be amazingly exciting. Now, we're not going to see anything beyond any kind of amateur tournaments for a long time, I don't think. But it's going to be awesome.
For like another year.
Yeah.
Well, as I said,
which will open beta at least. Yeah.
Like, was it EverQuest? Landmark, they're getting the community to make the
builder.
game.
Yeah,
they're
build
like,
the game.
and it's genius.
They're like, I like
People
this.
want to do that, and they'll do it for free because they just want to. And same thing with Heroes of the Storm. They're gonna Yeah.
You feel like you're part of something.
Yeah.
Like hey,
Well,
look, I made
gives
this thing.
A sense of involvement in the game that they're playing.
Less work
Like
for
they're
the
making it.
developers.
And then it makes less work for them, so they can focus on like the systems and stuff behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to like
You know,
focus on the
the stuff
gameplay and then have the community be involved in helping the game world grow.
It's the stuff that the community just can't do.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah.
If they can focus on.
They're giving you like this shell, this framework to work with, and then you put in the
They give you
filler.
the tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you do what. It'd be a really cool idea. This and this and this. Well, I could,
And if it is a cool idea,
Yeah.
You'll be in the
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, this is cool. And they're like, I could email Blizzard and this is a good idea. You should try this. But what's the chances of them doing what I asked them? So, hey, look, now I got the tools to do what I want to do, basically.
yeah.
Because I'm kind of excited to see like what kind of maps would actually be used in esports.
Yeah.
Like let's say it is like StarCraft, and they don't typically use the maps that Blizzard has made for tournaments and esports. What are we going to see for Heroes if we don't use the ones that Blizzard has provided? What are these esports going to be? I don't know. It's
I would
kind of
assume-
exciting.
I would assume they're all 5v5, but beyond that,
Yeah.
anything goes. I think.
I could see in a tournament play.
That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
In tournament play, I could see them doing a capture the flag.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
that would be
could
cool.
See that over
Yeah.
the ones that I see now.
Yeah.
I guess the light capture can use any abilities.
Yeah.
They have to be locked.
Or you get a whole new set of abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit them with
It's like the
flag,
Dragon Knight.
Yeah. You can prod them away from you.
Flag poke.
Pole vault, yeah.
You get a pole vault.
Pole vault, yeah, that'd be hilarious.
You can hop over
like,
trees.
Maybe you run a little bit slower. You can't mount. But,
Yeah.
You have like two new abilities or something.
Yeah.
Maybe some
Yeah.
sort of like a 2-second
Defensive
sprint,
ability. Yeah.
or
I like
maybe
seeing that
like
flag
a
prod thing.
shielder kind of thing or something.
What?
The
Get
flag
away,
prod.
no.
Yeah.
There's
Knock
like,
them back a bit.
throw them behind you, like Diablo with the pole. He just throws them behind him.
So
This-
I don't know. I just the esports thing is kind of cool. Right?
This reminds me of what League of Legends did for their April Fools. They had like a game mode where the cooldown for all abilities was like cut in half or something like that, and your auto attacks were twice as fast or something. And it was just a goofy mode you could play, and obviously it wasn't well balanced.
Yeah. Nobody. Mana.
And
Some
Teemo
made it-
would just crush everybody apparently because his auto attacks are pretty quick to begin with. Like, and he's got like a machine gun now. Teemo?
Oh,
apparently,
my God.
apparently he was super strong.
Everybody hates. Why?
Because Teemo's OP.
Just stupid. Show some Teemo love.
Never.
80% cooldown. Okay. Yeah,
Hammer
like,
into the ground.
and you think like a lot of the community was saying like, this is awesome. Can we keep this as like a side game mode forever? And Heroes, you don't have to worry about that. Like, you don't have to go through the big conglomerate, like this huge corporation that is Blizzard that has 1,001 things to worry about. You can just do it yourself. And if you want to play like that with your buddies, you can just do it. And so that's super exciting. Super, super exciting. All right, so have we talked esports to death? Are we going to move on now?
I think.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a couple quick notes. The first one is fairly specific. This is about as specific as we've gotten so far in this podcast. People have been noticing in the map specifically of Haunted Mines. Now, for those that aren't too familiar with the maps, you have essentially two different maps that are kind of mirrors of each other. The top one is a standard 2-lane, everything exists as normal, minions and whatever. But then at certain times, these mines open up and you can kind of climb into these mines, and there's skulls to collect by killing minions, and once they're all collected, these two golems appear, which are supposed to be extremely strong. And did I say golem? I mean golem.
It's a
Not
Grave
Gollum,
Golem.
not Smeagol. Smeagol doesn't appear, but grave golems appear. And the idea is the more skulls you get, the stronger your grave golem is. And the team that has the majority has the biggest pushing power, and they'll be able to do some damage. Now, the problem that arose with the community is that people would just straight up ignore the mines. they would capture all of the mercenaries that were on the map while the other team was busy in the mines, because it took a decent amount of time. You're probably looking at 2.5 minutes to clear these mines just because it was as big as the map. And these teams that were pushing with mercenaries were doing just as much, if not more, damage than a maxed out golem would. And sometimes by the time the second mines would open, they've already won, or they've pushed you back all the way to your palace. And while we were talking about this as a point, Blizzard literally came up with the fix like 2 hours later. And what they did was...
We're watching.
Yeah. What the Blizzard did was the golems... The golems have more health. I think someone will probably correct me on the actual stat, but it's like 37.5% more health. And it scales as the game goes on. The groups of minions in the mines are closer together, so it doesn't take as long to clear them out. And it's too early to tell if that's really made a huge difference. It's only been, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. But I was glad to see, like, in a technical alpha, like, I thought Blizzard was going to ignore all stats and ignore the maps mostly and just worry about the bugs and make sure nothing was crashing. But they actually took initiative and dealt with this problem. I don't know, did you guys... John, did you ever notice that with that map?
I didn't play for like a week. And then I played the grave one, and I didn't notice that they were closer together. I didn't really notice the health thing. But then again, I don't think I actually fought the grave golem in that time, like recently kind of thing. So I haven't noticed that yet. But because you guys were talking about this last week, and kind of debating on it, like the whole objective thing or whatever. And I kind of like it that it's not the end-all, be-all kind of thing. I like that there is the other option, although with 2 competent teams, it probably wouldn't happen.
No.
Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that it isn't the only thing that you can do. Like, it's kind of cool when everyone comes together and try to complete the objective. That is definitely cool. But if it happened every match, it wouldn't be as cool anymore.
Yeah. It'd just be, they're going after this.
So it is kind of cool that maybe 3 guys do go down or 2 guys do go down, and then the other team, all 5 of them go down, and they're just trying to stall them or something. Whereas, and then the rest of them, get the mercenaries, whatever kind of thing, and try to press the towers above. And some of the maps, though, they're extremely strong. If you want to call them objectives, I think they're just like alternate routes of doing things. But like the pyro on it, like, blows up buildings almost one hit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's good to have that variation. Although, it's obviously if it needs to be fixed, it needs to be fixed, kind of thing. Like, what are the other maps? The curse one too. I guess that's you should get it no matter what. It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But I don't. I like if there's variations, and if it's not the main, like if it's not the end all be all objective, I kind of like that. That you have choices. Like,
Yeah.
to me, it was kind of like StarCraft, where it's like, do I expand or do I build a stronger army, kind of thing. And that's like with the Grave Golem thing. It's, well, do we invest in going to get this golem, or do we invest in, pressing the mercenary camps or stopping the team from getting the golem? Like, where do we invest our resources to, kind of thing.
I think what we'll see.
So I like that.
Like, once it's all established and it's all figured out, I think what you'll typically see is 3 people go down into the mines and 1 person in each lane, because then you're getting the experience from going down to the mines, and you're putting pressure on getting the skulls that are down there. But not only that, you're getting experience from each lane that is on the top map.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting the most experience that you possibly can without suffering too much by not getting the objective.
Yeah.
You probably will not get 100 skull, golem, but when do you normally get that? I mean, you really don't.
And those 3 guys that go down, they might pick off a character that's trailing behind, and then they also coming back, and you're completely delaying them, and kind of thing, and then they forget about you, like can't catch you, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's
You might get a little bit behind in skulls, but you're gaining more experience.
I think there's a lot of
in
ways to deal
levels.
with, especially that one. I think is a very strategic map.
Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
really
Yes.
cool, and I'm glad that they tweaked it so that it's not to the point where everybody just ignores it
Yeah.
and just entirely push a lane.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
the whole thing of these maps is for the objective. So what's the point in having the objective if people don't do the objective? So it's I know it's still technical alpha, and I've seen a lot of posts and people are like, well, they didn't give it enough time.
Yeah.
You just didn't allow the community to see it. Well, I mean, how big is the community that's actually playing the game right now? Like when you log
Yeah.
on, you notice that there's 400 people playing. Sometimes some of these guys are waiting 10, 15 minutes just to play a game.
Yeah.
So why not kind of fix this stuff now and try and get it where they want it to be for the objective before the mass of the community is there and then cries out that it's imbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was kind of like John made the point that if, like, let's pretend we just teleported 2 years into the future, there's some sort of a pro-competitive scene, that balance wouldn't have been an issue because everyone has like perfect communication and you're able to balance it out. If you see they ignored it, you'll just ignore it too. But with a solo queue, that was kind of something Blizzard had to do. But
Yeah.
okay, let's move on. You guys all play Smite. I've played Smite a little bit. John, I don't think you ever. No, not
I
really.
watch-
eh?
Like sometimes.
Yeah.
Smite.
It's a cool looking game. But anyways, something
I Smite play.
something that Smite has, and it's not really unique to Smite, but it's one of its really awesome features, is the voice command system.
Oh
Where
my gosh, waiting to talk about this.
yeah, so
Voice command?
using
Yeah, so
different
you-
keyboard commands.
It's over so you can like
Oh yeah.
bring it up real quick so you don't have to like type out or like have voice
Like I'm
command.
taking
There
this
has
lane
been-
or whatever.
Yeah, or like help this lane or like enemy missing this lane.
Or your
It's
ultimate's
pretty much
ready.
Attack
tons of
fire
stuff.
giant, someone's in the jungle, meet in the jungle.
Yeah, so you press like
Attack,
a key to bring up
retreat,
different different
Menus.
subjects, I guess.
Yeah.
menus.
Well, different types. Like there's one for enemies, there's one for
There's self.
ganking,
yeah.
there's one for like greetings, there's
Yeah.
one for stuff, and then there's sub menus within that'll do like say certain phrases that are pre.
They
in the
kind of
game.
got that in Heroes. If you ping,
Yeah.
press G. And
If you
on
ping
a-
different
on
spots, it will say things.
Missionary location, it'll say, "Let's take that." You'll hear a
Yeah.
voice say, "Let's take that location." If you ping on an enemy, it'll
Like
say it in
attack
text,
it.
and it'll say, I think it says it in voice. I can't remember. I know it
Yeah,
says
no,
in
it does.
text.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to kill that person.
But how cool would it be? Like, let's say you get the Diablo voice pack.
Yeah.
And they have voice commands that are in there. And you say, like, attack right lane in the Diablo voice, and it broadcasts it to everybody so that they all hear it.
Attack.
Like, that's just a new feature.
Please.
And they would make so much more money off of voice packs doing that. Because they would want everybody to hear that I have this voice pack. I have
Yeah.
a Diablo voice pack.
Yeah, it's
Let's
true.
attack. Like
Yeah.
it's just kind of cool. Like, and not only is it cool to have and whatever, it helps team fights so much.
There's way more.
Yeah, because it's a lot faster.
You can coordinate so much better.
than typing
like-
it out.
I don't know. Like, I feel like you could sit there and type to somebody and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna gank right lane, attack when I get to this certain location on the map," and then you die because you're typing. Whereas when you're running up, you can just hit, if for example in Smite, you just hit like VAA for attack.
Yeah.
And it takes nothing away from where your hands are already while you're continually moving.
I wonder if they won't do that just because it might limit maps that they can do.
Oh, true.
Because-
Well, calling out lanes and stuff.
yeah,
But,
lanes. Like
but you can have other commands.
you
just
can say
like,
top lane, bottom lane, make it general, but
yeah.
but
Or attack
maybe
my
they want
lane.
maybe they want to try a map that is you start at the bottom and the enemy's at the top.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, you know what I mean? The vertical kind
it
of.
does it in. It's like that in Smite. Like,
yeah, but you
there's
could say
assault map
like attack my lane.
where it's just a single
Like
lane.
that, more general.
Yeah.
So there's no like just still say I'm attacking the jungle.
Yeah, well, it's just with like the
Vertical,
custom maps.
Yeah.
Mm.
It might.
Maybe-
I'm just saying, like, it might stop them
I
from
can
doing
see
that
your
just
point.
because of that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want to limit it, but then again, they might make a buttload of money. So.
Yeah. I guess we'll just have to see what they do.
Crazy
really
towards.
wanna-
I
Crazy-
didn't want to
sorry.
give them the idea so they can figure out a way to get more money from us. That was my one concern. Oh yeah,
They should just
voice
give it for
packs.
free. They
Or
should
voice
just be
pack.
on.
When you buy the character, you get the voice
Smite,
pack.
there's voice packs
Yeah,
you buy.
They're like
For-
200 gems.
Yeah, for the character.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Dude,
otherwise
some-
just the default.
And some of them are just so funny to hear.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Ao
Like,
Kwang's
you
my
just-
favorite.
Al Kwang is probably one of the best.
Enemy missing middle.
or Bacchus.
Yeah.
Bacchus, I can't understand half the things he said. It's like Gab too.
It's just, I don't know, it's fun and it helps coordination. And I mean, it's not really going to affect tournament play that much because typically
even
like
like-
you're a 5-man team, you're going to be on
Talking to each other.
TeamSpeak or on
It's even
Skype
cheaper
or
to produce
whatever.
for $1.
Yeah. Crazy Tort in chat actually came up with a couple points. He said that like characters will interact without any human interaction in game. Like
Yeah.
if you have like Raynor and Diablo sitting at the gate and the countdown's happening for the game to start, they'll like greet each other. Or if let's say
Actually, I noticed that the other day. Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
I was Diablo and my brother Andrew. He was the Demon Hunter, and they're from the same universe. And we were sitting at the gate, and the Demon Hunter, goes, "After this, you're next." Diablo, I can't remember what Diablo said something.
He's like, no,
Yeah.
That was like
oh no, you didn't.
That was like Arthas and Malfurion were there, and Malfurion healed Arthas, and Arthas is just like, "Thanks for the heal,
Yeah.
slave."
That's awesome.
I think that's really cool that they threw that in.
I like that a lot.
I think it's pretty awesome. Yeah, so voice commands would be pretty cool. I think that could help. Just solo queuing, you get your
Just general
communication up. Because communication in this game is in any
just
MOBA
like, I
is
need help.
extremely important. Yeah, and that could help with
Yeah, it's
with
huge.
that.
Like, yeah, because then you can have ones where it's like, okay, go down into the mines, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
kill
To
the
the mines.
golem, or get the skulls, or go get bounties or tributes or whatever. Not bounties.
This isn't
tributes
a mine, it's a tomb.
Yeah.
It's a tomb.
Yeah, they should put that.
Go down there and people are all dead.
Okay, here's a point that I only want to bring up just because a couple people in the community, especially the BattleNet forums, have talked about this. Last hitting. Now, let me explain this first off. This would not change the fact that all of the heroes on the same team will get the same amount of experience at the same time. This just increases the amount of experience you would get from each individual minion. So if you're the one who does the last hit, it would give you a little bit of a bonus. And by you, I mean the entire team. So the question is, should last hitting be part of heroes? And it's a big part of, say, Dota. Denying hits and getting last hits. That's a pretty big part of that. So I know what I feel, but what do you guys think about that? Just with me just saying that sentence.
I think it depends on the amount of experience you get if you were to last hit. Denying creeps and stuff, I don't think it belongs in this game at all. And do I think that last hitting belongs in Heroes of the Storm? Probably not.
No.
No.
I don't think
But
it's
would I be
necessary, especially when
completely-
everyone's like leveling.
Would I
I'm
be
trying to
completely
think, like-
opposed to it? I don't know. Like,
I kind of would.
I think it would ruin it. I think
Yeah,
it would
it
would
really
throw the
would.
balance off if it was
Well, that's-
experience. But
let's
if you
say-
think
If it's gold,
If it's-
you're like
if
there's no
it's-
gold or anything.
there's no gold,
Yeah.
so maybe you recover 2 mana or something a little insignificant.
yeah.
I'd be okay with
well, I
that,
would
like
say
something
it's
little.
like one experience.
But it's
Still.
kind of
Like, I'm not
I don't
like,
think it would.
I'm just doing it for the sake of
Yeah, I know, I
discussion,
know.
you know what I mean? I don't,
it's just
Well, here's what will happen.
a lot of it on Reddit. People are like, I want
Last hit.
last hit.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of people coming from Dota and League of Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they haven't experienced it yet, probably.
No. So they're just like, well, it's so foreign. Like, why?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you have last
Like,
hit? It's everywhere.
This is wrinkling my brain. How does this even work?
Well, think about it this way.
Last hit's usually for gold.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least in League of Legends and stuff like that's
It's not
why the
even the
mechanic's there.
XP. It's the
not
gold
really
is
the
why
XP.
you're
It's the
doing
gold.
it.
You're not going to really like
Yeah.
out level the other player. What you wanted the last hit for is so gold, so you can
Reduces cooldowns
buy.
maybe by half a second.
That's
Well, don't
a
some
bit
heroes
much.
See, now it's just getting.
I
too
last hit.
complicated.
Now I have all my.
No, I'm just saying, like some sort of like it couldn't be an experience.
Some
No,
sort of
no.
reward
Some sort
for
of
it
tiny little reward that you know maybe you would want to get
encourages last hit.
the last
speed
hit.
boost.
But then again, then you have to make it so you because to deny those last hits,
Mhm.
then
Like
take
in
away
Dota.
everything. Now your own guys are targetable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
just
It's
think
I-
less
pause.
friendly.
I would just
I don't
pause
know.
Too, it would
And-
cause too much.
Like I said, like I've seen a lot of it.
There's
on
so many other
discussion
things.
and-
Like you don't get the statistical or whatever. Your character doesn't get the buff from being awesome, but your whole team does.
Yeah.
Like it's a team effort. The
Yeah.
whole game is based around a team.
Yeah.
based
So
on
the
teams.
whole people who complain about, they're just people who want. They're people who are, they want to show off.
Yeah.
And like, dude, like if you're playing a team game, you want to show off. As much as people probably don't want to hear us, maybe it's not the game for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Some
No.
games are just not meant for certain people. And like you said, like if this is, if you're the type of player that
I think they'll have fun anyway, though. That's the thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. But
And
a
you get
lot
to
of
see your
people,
stats at the end.
a lot of people are just so stubborn that they just it's me. I
Yeah.
want to be the carry. I want to be the person to get
I
all
know.
the last kills.
I know.
and-
Maybe you could get. Actually, here's an idea.
I like that point in
Experience for your
chapter.
account.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get last hit. You get extra experience at the end of the game for your account.
There you go.
Well, here's the problem I have with that because
yeah.
There you go.
and maybe an actual 1 gold piece for your currency.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Extra
Use it as an
gold.
account thing instead of in game.
There
And
you
then
go.
you
I'm
still get it.
sold.
Actually, then maybe some people might get really angry if you take the last hit.
well, okay,
Yeah.
here's
Then last time you're
Yeah,
gonna be like,
see,
At least,
no, come on.
At least the account experience, I think, would be
Yeah.
that one might actually work really
Yeah.
well.
What if someone else wants the account experience? That's what I'm saying. You're incorporating this
it would
new,
cause, it would
this new,
cause
Yeah.
issues.
like teammate versus teammate competition when that's not what you want.
Well,
at all.
yeah, and exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
If you want it, then that's probably on an account level. That's the way you should
I
get
think
it.
Yeah.
I think the last
If
hit,
they're gonna do anything
If it
about
ever does happen.
Yeah.
the last hit has a purpose in Dota. It has a purpose in League. It does not have a purpose
No,
in
not
this
really.
game.
Uh-uh.
It really, when it
It
comes down to
doesn't belong.
there's no gold, and that's the biggest part of last hits we've already talked about. But that's why you last hit. Like your solo laning, okay, last hits are a little easier. Then you have like a lane where it's two
Yeah.
of you and a support. Support's letting you get the last hit.
Yeah.
There's also items that if you don't get the last hit, but you're around there, you get bonus gold because you're a support character. You're not there to get that last hit.
Yeah.
That there's a reason for that.
Well,
but
one
in
thing-
this game, there isn't that.
One thing they should do just to satisfy, I think, everyone's interest and stuff like that is have more stats at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could count last hits in there if you want to.
Just as a stat.
I
instead of-
Minion
damage
kills.
damage input kind of thing, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like just as like, I don't know, maybe
just to see where you're at and
Yeah,
how
and-
you're playing.
and like, look, I freaking I did so much. I did twice as much damage.
yeah.
I'm
But
awesome.
in game, like while you're in game, it's not.
It's all
necessary.
about the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if people are really like when they're playing the game, they're gonna enjoy the game. They aren't gonna be like, at least for me anyway. That's how it's been. But I guess I'm kind of like that in the first place. So.
yeah, and I think a problem that would come if last hitting ever becomes a thing is that Blizzard has tried to reduce all of the fat that is the traditional MOBA, and laning is a huge part of that. And laning isn't really a phase right now. Like the only time you're sitting in a lane is when an objective isn't present, because there's so many other things you could be doing. And you could have a team fight that's decided just purely because a guy wanted more experience on his account, so he's sitting in a lane the whole game, and he's ignoring what's happening. You know, like
Yeah.
it's. I don't think it should be in the game. The game is structured around
not.
that not being a
it's
thing.
tailored to not have that.
It's stressful, I think, too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
totally.
it really is, because that's a huge learning curve. Like knowing how much damage you're gonna do to last hit, because there's delays between your attacks.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be wasting like abilities to last hit.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's good. That would force your mindset that I have to farm.
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
farm my lane. Like
Yeah.
that's not
Get
what
last
this game is
hits.
about.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean,
that's not about.
And
farming.
also the whole support like what Just said, the support characters, like they're allowing you to get that hit.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're keeping you alive, or they're whatever.
Well, and
they're
how would you last
suppressing
hit
them.
with like Abther or something?
Yeah,
Like
like you might get one.
yeah. Oh well, hey, I got one. Cool. That's one experience for my account.
Out of the
Out of the 50,000 that everyone else is getting.
They should do that just to troll people.
Yeah.
You get one experience.
That's all you got.
It just burrows out to come hit
It's
something and go back.
200,000 to get a level up. Here's an extra one.
All right, so that's pretty much all of our points.
So
I
just
might-
go back to that.
Yeah.
so, playing games and stuff and laning and stuff like that. Sorry, I talked too much. But
We
there's been
invited you
games
here.
where-
Don't worry.
Yeah, it was a talk show.
Yeah.
There's been games where I've been all over the map, and at the end of the game, like my stats were great, kind of thing. Like, and that's like I'm not laning. I
Yeah.
don't, it's such
You're not
a,
stuck in a lane in this
You
like,
just sit
mindset
back
of,
and you're like, man, that
well,
was
this is the
awesome.
meta of this game.
Yeah.
You're gonna lane for a bit, then you're gonna.
why
you know.
limit yourself? Like, why pay? To me, and this is my kind of thing. I've ranted about this before. When games make you focus on statistics and mechanics so much that it's taking away from the gameplay and the enjoying
Yeah.
of playing that game,
Yeah.
I think that's a bad game. And I don't like that game.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I mean, people can do it and become better at it, and that's fine. But when it's naturally drawing you to those things,
Well, it's pigeonholing.
you have to, in order to be decent, you have to, whatever kind of thing. I think it's a bad game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something you do only because it's in that game. Like, if you don't choose to do that because it's fun, you're doing it because that's an element of the game, and it's a crappy one. And yeah. So I agree with that. All right. If that's it, I can pass it on to if anybody has questions in chat. Like, we'd be free to answer those. If not, we can wrap this up. So feel free to throw anything in chat if you guys have any questions. We'll keep an eye on that. But
And as they're gonna do that, I really have to pee. So bad.
yeah, I've never understood, like, why people enjoy laning in these other games. It seems like laning is such like a
Well, the laning phase is all about the last hit mechanic. You
yeah,
have to be in
and
lane to
you
last
don't want to
hit.
push your minions because you don't want to go near their tower.
Like in League of Legends, like you're laning to stop the other person from pushing the tower, but also the laning phase is to get that extra gold and extra experience. In the
You don't
beginning.
need that in Smite, though.
Not in Smite, but in like League of Legends.
League of Legends, yeah.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. That's a huge appeal for me at most Smite. Is that you can focus on the fighting.
Yeah.
You don't have to focus on whether or not I'm gonna get this last hit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to reply to who is it?
Crazy Torts.
The craze. Yeah, he was talking about thoughts on the regen orbs and the health wells. I think those are a good idea in the sense of what Blizzard's trying to do is to keep you in the game longer, in the fight longer, and you're like doing something longer. And they don't have potions. They don't have potions you can stock up on to go into the battle and then be able to stay out there longer. So they've introduced, you got your moon wells or whatever, and then you got these little orbs that drop or whatever. I think that's a good idea to keep that concept alive and keeping you in the fight. And I think in that aspect of the game, it's a great idea.
Yeah, because I mean their focus is action, right?
Yep.
Like that's the whole thing of it is that they want you to be engaging almost constantly.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how many times I haven't seen somebody go back to base because there's the Moonwell there. Like you don't there's in this game in Heroes there is absolutely no reason to go back to base unless your Moonwell is on cooldown.
Right.
Yeah, it really hurt.
That's the only reason why, and if your support's not there to give you a little bit of a boost.
Yeah.
Because I think who is it, Malfurion, that can give you mana back, right?
Oh, he's got. Yeah,
He has Innervate.
Innervate.
So
Yes,
he has it.
yes.
So I mean it's all about sustain,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what 90% of MOBAs comes down to is what
Who
character
has the
has
best
good
sustain?
sustain.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you need your support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Moonwell is really cool with that because it's a stationary support character that, you can, it's constantly there for you. Like I said, unless it's on cooldown.
Was there a question here?
Yeah, there's a couple.
What was it?
Just-
what were you guys?
Thoughts on regens and
What are our
moonwells?
thoughts on the
Regen orbs and
regen
health.
and the
moon wells?
health.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
It keeps the action going.
It goes along with the items and stuff. Like again, playing Dota, It's so annoying. Again, I haven't played that much. Okay, so I'm not like really want to talk, but like, okay, man, I need your help. Hold on a second.
Where are you? I'm just. Why aren't you in lane?
You're stuck in a menu. Like,
Yeah.
Or
Well, I don't know.
I gotta buy something.
Yeah, I gotta go back to
And you're like,
buy.
no, wait,
Okay.
we're fighting here. Like, wait.
There was
Pull out your
one.
wallet. And here goes, thanks for my bat. Or whatever. I don't know, my tooth or whatever.
There's one
Magic
game
item.
+2.
My dagger of blank. Warcraft 3. Anyway,
Tooth of awesome.
but and so I think the globe thing, the like, I'm always fighting in Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
Always. And I'm pretty sure most people are playing Dota or League of Legends to fight and
Other
not
players.
to buy items and
Yeah.
stay at the stores. I'm pretty sure they're there to
Like
fight.
you go, you click it, and you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's where you're.
Like you wait like 3 seconds to get a regen, but 3 seconds is so much less than having to like be back
Yeah.
and then grab
right
items
back,
and
right
then
all back out.
that's like
Yeah, I mean,
several minutes sometimes, like 2 minutes.
Even though there's mounts, I mean, there's still travel time, and that's detrimental.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
And it's like if you're missing somebody because they had to go back and heal,
Yeah.
that could cost you the game. When it gets to late game, every little engagement matters.
It keeps
Everything.
you going, and it's cool because you can. I guess this kind of like the last hit thing where you deny last hits. You can see enemy health globes. They're like
Yeah,
invisible kind of. They
So
have
you
like an
can
outline.
push
so you
them
can
off.
deny them. from
yeah,
there,
which is neat.
It adds this extra element, and then like sometimes you like. There's been a couple times where I just went for the health globe, got back, kind of thing, and it puts my guy at risk sometimes. But like, I don't know. It's a really good thing. I think it's a really smart idea,
Yeah,
and
I
out of
agree.
all the games that Blizzard has, easy to learn, hard to master kind of thing.
Yeah.
Heroes they have done the best job with it. I know some people hate the way Warcraft has been simplified or Diablo and stuff like that, and they're pretty legitimate reasons, kind of thing. But that thought process is very right for Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah,
Good.
I
They-
agree.
like those principles are perfect for Heroes of the Storm.
I want to make a quick comment on just what Bubblegum.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about brainstorm an appropriate name for this game. Since when is Diablo a hero? Awesome discussion, guys. Okay.
Depends on what side
Thanks.
you're on.
No, well, that's what I was gonna say. Diablo is a hero to demons. I mean, they gotta have their heroes, right? Like the evil side of things. I mean,
True.
like you go to Lord of the Rings, right? Who
What-
Mordor's hero is Sauron.
It's the same thing.
What
Well,
little
why is Arthur a hero?
What
He
little
was a hero,
Yeah,
but now he's a villain.
Yeah.
But he's a hero.
He's a
in
hero
the
to some
Dead Race.
people.
what little scavenger doesn't want to be Diablo?
Yeah, right. Who
Like, what
you're a
little-
freaking, like Freeman doesn't look up to Diablo like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be Diablo.
Rakinishu's so cute.
The little fallen ones. All they do is aspire to be
Actually,
Diablo.
their lore is that they used to be really powerful demons.
Oh,
and
really?
they were cursed by, I don't know if it was Diablo or somebody, and now they're like little crap.
Damn it!
Yeah. But yeah, I guess a hero is a very positive name.
Yeah, well, but that's the
Good.
thing. Like you look
Hero is
at it.
associated with good.
Yeah, it's just
Heroes and villains even say that. Like,
Yeah.
as a
Well,
but-
because think about it, right? Thrall is the hero for the Horde.
Yeah.
So if you're Horde, then you're like, oh, Thrall's the best. But, I mean, if you play Alliance, then
You're Varian, Ren,
just-
and he's just like, well, he's
It's different, I guess, with Diablo. The devil. You don't want to call the devil your hero
But I mean,
unless
like,
you're that
look,
kind of
it's
guy.
the whole thing of it. There's two sides
Yeah,
to it.
there's always-
it makes
So
me
it depends if you're Alliance or if you're Horde. Maybe he's Alliance.
it makes me think of I don't know.
Diablo?
No,
It
makes- It makes me think of
He's got his tavern.
a
and
book.
everything.
There's this book that C.S. Lewis wrote called Screwtape Letters, and it's
Oh,
looking
yeah.
it's looking
Yeah.
at
yeah.
the devil's well not the devil but
A
it's
demon.
a demon side of things,
Yes.
the opposing, and they're calling God and stuff the enemy,
Yeah.
and so in their words they're like their hero is like Satan and then the enemy is God, and so
It's like letters how to like tempt people.
yeah,
to-
yeah, it's such a cool
Yeah.
book. It really gives you
Yeah.
a different aspect or perspective on things.
Like hero can be very broad,
Yeah.
or it can be very specific.
Exactly.
I guess.
And
so.
generally, the general term, it is that specific.
It's
It is.
the good guys.
Like,
So-
we're not shooting
Yeah.
down your comment.
No,
Yeah.
but bubblegum, that kind of gives you an idea. I mean, it's true. I guess icon could be incorporated instead,
Yeah.
but
I'd just say dudes of the storm.
but then you got
Some
chicks
of them
in
are
there.
chicks.
Yeah.
What about all stars of the storm?
Dudes and dudettes of the
Dude,
storm.
dudes and dudettes of the storm.
All
Or, yeah,
stars?
You can say the same
All
thing
stars
for,
of the storm? No.
Is it pronounced heroin?
A
Yeah, heroin.
Yeah.
Heroin.
Heroines.
Yeah, because then it's the heroine of the storm.
Heroes and heroines is like, why is it heroin? But yeah, I don't know. You
Yeah.
can make the you
Some
can
say
technically
heroin.
make the same comment.
Dudes of the storm.
Something
On the most broadest term, it's heroes of the storm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Crazed Torts has been talking about this point. He's made a couple comments on it. Have you heard anything about being able to unlock skins, or is that only alternate colors? The way it is right now, to get skins, and they might change it, who knows, to get actual skins, you need to pay money. But
Oh.
you can do little, like, hero quests, and that will unlock, like, different colors of existing
Yeah.
skins that you have.
3 colors of.
So-
but that's all skins that you have. Too.
You can't
Yeah.
pay the gold to get a model.
No, like, that's only money right now.
No,
It's
only
real money.
I never even noticed.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, but I never actually checked.
Yeah, heroes can
Yeah.
be both. If you want to get, Diablo and he's not in free rotation.
Yeah, I don't think that. I
You
like
can-
Diablo as
Yeah.
Diablo, not
Yeah,
as Murloc
just
head.
how it. Yeah.
Murloc Blue.
I'm okay with that.
Just make a Murloc hero.
Yeah.
Myrtle.
Yeah.
Or old Murkai?
Oh.
Well, the way that I see like microtransactions, and it's kind of what this point's getting into, is look at Team Fortress and Team Fortress 2 and how they do it, where the game is free, and the things that cost money are accessories, which don't
Cosmetic.
really, they're just cosmetics. They don't really affect anything at all. So I'm totally cool with that. Like, if you want to pay money, it's not going to affect the gaming experience. It's just going to, if you think you look cool, like that's totally fine. So I like how Blizzard's kind of done that.
Yeah.
Like, everything that actually affects gameplay, you can grind out. But if you want to buy something cosmetic, that's totally fine. So yeah. If
Yeah, the Rainer and the Patriots game.
yeah, it is kind of cool.
America.
The Captain America.
I like the Gundam Tassadar.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's one of the coolest.
I want to see Gundam Tassadar riding the mechanical wolf, like the mech wolf, I think is what it's called, because they look like it's the same kind of theme. So it looks like a Gundam riding like a Gundam wolf. I think
Yeah,
that'd
I
be
want
awesome.
to. I want to see Diablo run on all fours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's all I
Yeah.
care about at the moment. Sorry, everyone, but
One track mind, it's all Diablo.
mount options where
You don't need an actual kind of like
He runs
the
on all fours.
siege tank. Like it just has the boost
Yeah.
instead of riding a horse.
although I think
I don't know, I
I think
think
a
it'd be
mounting
awesome.
option for the siege tank should be riding a horse.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
I want to see a siege tank on a unicorn.
I'm personally okay with that.
I want to see a siege tank on a
If
unicorn.
Diablo's riding a siege tank, you're riding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Duh.
It's just
The
guys.
Siege Tank's like, whoa.
Yeah,
It's like balancing on the back. It's like, whoa.
Actually, you know, it'd be an awesome mount. A tricycle.
Diablo on a tricycle.
It's even smaller than the horse.
Big wheel, the big wheel.
Oh, big wheel.
It's like a little circus, like the circus
I think,
act.
Rainer should have a vulture though. I think
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, a vulture.
Specific mounts.
Yeah.
A vulture would be
Diablo
amazing.
run.
Yeah, exactly. The logical mounts for these.
Yeah.
Well, that was like in World of Warcraft. Torn originally had
Plane strike.
Plane strike.
plane strike. Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't have a mount. If you rode, they just ran faster.
Yeah.
Well, then they ended up giving basically that to Worgen.
Organ, where they
Yeah,
like,
and they
run
had
on
Wild
all fours.
which is really cool.
Wild
Wild
running
running
or something.
Yeah.
Good.
But, yeah.
Good. I think that's pretty much it, right? Like,
Oh,
you
I wanted to
guys-
say that my opinion.
yeah, throw it in.
I really want to see. I mean, I'd like to see Malfurion and Illidan with the skin, who looks like Malfurion, in the same lane together. And they're like, who is it? Like, who's
They
fighting?
should have a Malfurion skin that looks like Illidan.
Yeah.
Malfurion with the
dark Malfurion. That'd be
Demon
cool.
Malfurion.
Yeah, it's like roles got switched in
Yeah.
some backwards universe.
Yeah.
So you're expecting a support, and then he just kills you because he's Illidan?
Yeah.
You get confused which one's which?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think Blizzard has so many ideas and possibilities when it comes to skins and everything else. Like even things that aren't even related, like the lumberjack Uther, like it has nothing to do with lore, but
Yeah, the lumberjack.
Should be Grizzly Hills Uther.
Grizzly Hills Uther. Some of them are pretty clever.
so I think that's awesome. Or like the medic
I
Uther's
think
good.
I'm looking forward to the most is the primevals for characters.
Yeah.
Probably because you never can play them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
played Arthas. You played all the Warcraft bad guys and good guys. You played because of Warcraft 3. You played all the StarCraft people obviously. But with the Diablo characters, you only play
The barbarian.
the full amount.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm most excited for all the Diablo characters and to be Diablo. 'Cause,
There's also cool things like Arthas as himself as a paladin as a skin.
yeah, that's
Right?
cool too. Yeah.
Now, the same thing that makes you think of is Sylvanas before she was transformed by Arthas
As
and
a
became
blood elf.
undead as a
Yeah.
blood elf or whatever,
Yeah.
a high elf
Yeah.
or
Or
whatever.
you could do like an Uther Death Knight.
yeah, exactly. You could like
So-
switch it out.
Yeah.
I wanna
The what
talk
ifs.
about what.
It's a
Shannon
good question.
there about the summoner type character, which is really cool because last week we actually went over some of the data mined heroes that they have, and there's a queen, which she has ability to summon mutalisks, and I think there were zerglings and a couple of
I
other
think
things in there as well.
I think I played her in.
There was something with banelings that she did as well. So it looks like they are going for
There
a
might
summoner
have some sort
type.
of summer.
Maybe
And the
not
Diablo
something
2
in
Necro
that
would be cool.
Well,
Yeah, it would.
queen would be like an Abathur character because
She'd sit back.
she's just gonna be crawling down the lane like
Yeah.
this. Like, what is she gonna do?
She
Really?
could put creep
Yeah.
out,
and then
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did creep place.
yeah.
I remember.
That's interesting.
So
Make creep slow down, like people of the other team, and give a
Either you
boost.
slow down, your speed up.
It's like
Because
Hebo,
that-
right? Smite.
Summon characters and stuff where you're not directly in the fight, but you're there. It's the same kind of idea with that.
It would be cool to see banelings come rolling down the lane. You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit!
Yeah.
They'd be so good versus minions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Splash.
They probably have to
destroy.
be timed just because DOE characters would. DOE had stuff like
Yeah, just throw it right in their face.
But
It's
just
like-
explode them when you want to explode.
Well, I mean, like time, like they
Yeah,
don't
they have a
don't
certain
hit
amount of
anything.
time. Then
They don't
they
hit
Yeah, but what if it's going all the way down the lane? Then it's pointless. Now you push
Well,
so
no,
far.
because-
Now what are they gonna do? They
Well,
just
if your
blow up
if your
midway?
whole team is pushed up pretty far, then that gives you a bit more room to push forward. Because Abathur's
Sure, I guess that makes sense.
the
Locust.
called now Locust,
Locust.
that he summons are timed. They only go
Yeah.
so far.
Mhm.
So for him to be
They
able
have
to
a range.
reach,
He has to move up.
the inside of the base, he has to be pushed out, which comes into terms with his burrow ability.
Well, and I think
So
that's
he can burrow in and out of
that's
places quite easy.
that brings up the whole what is that reward versus
Risk versus
yeah,
reward.
exactly. So like if you're a queen, I mean maybe you don't move that fast, but you've been pushed so far out, so you move to mid map in your lane to start shooting more banelings to get all the way into their base. or whatever.
But you're
But you're vulnerable because there's no you can't. She may not have a burrow.
Well, maybe she has a fly. Like maybe they'll bring back
It'd be funny if
kind of like a
character could
StarCraft
go into
2
towers.
queen.
What?
Oh
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Into towers.
Take over a tower.
Yeah.
You know, like a
And aim at heroes.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat.
That'd
It
be-
goes into
actually-
first person, and you're like mounting a turret.
You know what I think would actually be really cool, and I think I was talking to Joker about this the other night, but a Defiler.
Oh yeah.
I think that
Oh
the
yeah.
Dark
yeah.
Storm and Plague and
Dark
stuff.
Storm and Plague.
Consume a
like,
minion
it just-
for energy or whatever.
I think it'd be really cool because like how many casters, like pure casters, are there?
Mm.
I don't know.
Aside from a support, there's the Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
As long as they because what I haven't liked is when they make characters and they're not known at all.
Over something.
Before other like for
Like Elite
example,
Torn
Stitches.
Chieftain?
Yeah.
The Butcher.
The Butcher and Stitch is the same thing. Practically.
Yeah.
Practically the same.
Maybe he could have like a butcher.
They
skin.
literally look alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except one doesn't have stitches.
Yeah.